From the bayou to the Rocky Mountains and the depths of the Pacific to the sandbars of New England, this is Boat Trader Stomping Grounds. From small bass boats to giant offshore titans and everything in between, boaters across America show us why they love their boat and exactly what makes it the perfect vessel for their neck of the woods. In this episode, we're traveling to the coast of North Carolina, a section of the country that includes 330 miles of sandy barrier islands and beach towns, each with its own extraordinary energy and assortment of outdoor recreation and boating activities. Our crew's first stop is Wilmington, a seaside community rich in maritime history, from its historic downtown river district to its island beaches. Many ironclad Confederate naval vessels were built in Wilmington, and today the 728-foot World War II battleship North Carolina stands in quiet dignity across from the city's waterfront, serving as a floating museum that allows visitors to take a step back in time.
Hey people, it's Ryan and welcome back to another episode of Stomping Grounds. I'm here in beautiful Wilmington, North Carolina today. Wilmington is known as the port city of North Carolina, also as Hollywood East by the locals. That's because over 350 films and TV shows have been filmed here at one of the country's largest production facilities east of Hollywood. It's also the stomping grounds of a local boating family that has a bit of their own Hollywood story. So let's go inside and catch up with them and see what their neck of the woods is all about.
My name is Jonas Pate, and I'm a filmmaker. We have a show on Netflix called Outer Banks that is about a bunch of teenagers looking for lost treasure on the coast of North Carolina. So a lot of it takes place on boats. I created the show with my brother and our partner Shannon, and I'm basically the head director of the show. You know, I think when you create something, you can't help but pull from your own life. So a lot of it was things that happened to us when we were kids and environments that we knew, and yeah, we're always pulling things from it.
What kind of boats did you have back then?
God, you know, mostly they were just like little skiffs, little beaters, like, you know, like John boats more than anything else. We had an old ski boat, I don't even remember what kind it was, and we would tool around on that thing, but it wasn't anything fancy, it was just recreational boats.
I met Jonas in Los Angeles at this healthy grocery store in line for a smoothie.
Hit on her mercilessly, but did not get her number.
We exchanged a lot of information about each other, but not names and numbers.
And then I saw her like a month later just by luck, and then I was determined, and that was it.
And we've been married for almost 21 years. We moved to Wilmington from Los Angeles about 4 years ago. It was a massive move. My husband really wanted to leave LA. I was pretty happy there.
Well, what was really important to me in the house was really just the water. I could have lived in a mobile home. Jen probably wouldn't have liked that, but I just wanted to make sure we were on the water. That was it. That was number one.
Jonas was absolutely determined to have a house on the water, not near the water, and that was a huge part of our decision to buy here.
Hey guys, I'm up here on Jen and Jonas's beautiful deck overlooking their yard and the ICW, the Intracoastal Waterway beyond, and also at the edge of the property, their dock where they have the two boats, the Grady-White and the Carolina Skiff, and we're about to go take them out for a ride.
Well, where we are right now is this is our stomping ground. This is where we hang, our house is right here.
Yeah, that's the Betty Lee, our Grady-White that we love to go out on as a family.
The Pates took us up the river to Wrightsville Beach to experience a day on the water with their family in this area. We cruised under the bridges, past the center of town, and by the docks where all the big sport fishing and cruising yachts are, plus, of course, all the smaller local family boats. And it really showcased the kind of lifestyle that serves as inspiration for Jonas's Netflix show.
Our Grady is it's just a great size. It's really easy. You can have, another family on there easy. I like the side console because I can sit next to Jonas and have my own little space, and that we've got kind of the covering. It's just a great boat. It's just, for our family, it's just the perfect size. It kind of has everything you need. One of the reasons we came here was to give him time to kind of breathe and create. And so he and his brother and this other guy, Shannon, they created Outer Banks, which is on Netflix. And it was great because it gave him that opportunity to get back and create a show around the water life, around boating, to kind of remind what he loved about growing up. And so that's just been this huge blessing to our family that happened when we moved here.
A lot of the stuff from the series was inspired by just watching the kids in the neighborhood do the kinds of things that they do just on a regular day, like our kids do. We have teenagers, both my partners have teenagers, so we show them the script, and so we take a lot of advice from them, honestly.
One of the big things that we convinced our kids to move here for was a boat, and we told them we were going to get them one. What they didn't know is we were going to get them a used kind of beater boat, like that first car that you get. And so we got them this Carolina Skiff. We bought it from a friend, and it was the best way for kids to learn. You weren't worried about it. They could go out there, they can learn. It's like the perfect thing for young boaters to get on those little beater boaters.
And we figured that was a sort of safe way to start out, and so they putter around on that thing. We're lucky we have a little island that's right off where we live called Masonboro that is a nature preserve, and so you can take the boat over there and anchor up and go spend the day and not see many people. It's pretty awesome.
Stretching 4.4 miles from one end to the other, Masonboro Island Reserve is the longest undisturbed barrier island ecosystem in southern North Carolina. This pristine environment can only be reached by boat, and its salt marshes and tidal creek habitats are home to an array of threatened and endangered wildlife. The undeveloped shoreline is a natural nesting area for sea turtle species, ranging from loggerheads and green turtles to hawksbills and leatherbacks. In collaboration with researchers from the University of North Carolina in Wilmington, nest monitoring and protection has occurred on Masonboro Island since 1983, and volunteers from the Masonboro Island Reserve monitor the shoreline for nesting activity regularly, collecting DNA and guarding the nests.
We use our boat mostly just for sort of family adventures. So we'll go down to Mason's Inlet, which is on the other side of Figure 8, sometimes even a little further down to Rich's Inlet or over to Masonboro in different places. It's just little adventures up and down the coast on weekends or, when we have time.
Jonas really loved boating, had always spent time on boats, and it has become such a huge part of our life.
The natural world is so nice to be a part of and to see the different, rhythms of the sea. The more you live here and the more you sort of tune into it and you realize there's a season for everything and seeing it all come and go, it's really fulfilling. It's awesome.
This is a huge boating community. So many of the friends we made here, the friendships become deeper spending time on the water. But we go out on our boat, almost every day we can. It's just a place where we hang out and socialize, and it's just like a little floating party with your friends. It's so much fun. Yeah. This guy likes to be behind the camera, so the fact that we're putting him in front of the camera today is not really his comfort zone.
Let's just say I love my wife.
But he also loves his boat and he loves the water, so he's doing what he loves to do.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, Outer Banks! Let's go! Season 2, baby! Let's go!
The group of teenage girls that passed us off our port side were so excited for the second season of the Outer Banks show on Netflix that they were all shouting their support from the boat. Now you could tell the whole boating community around here knows about the show and how so many people who live here on the coast of North Carolina share a love for life on the water and a passion for boating. We had some help filming this episode from a local video production company called Lighthouse Films, who gave us a hand with some of our on-the-water cinematography. And this is something that we're familiar with here at Boat Trader, as we're constantly testing and sea trialing boats all the time and filming the action as we go. One thing Jonas told me that I was really surprised to learn was that they often shoot the boating scenes for the show with the camera crew visible in the shots on the boat, and then later they airbrush them out, simply because it's more time efficient that way. You can see in our footage how difficult it can be to hold a big camera by hand on a smaller boat, particularly in choppy water, let alone throwing and catching a drone.
If you saw when we shoot, sometimes we have scenes where it's a few teenagers in basically a Carolina skiff, but if you turn the camera around, you'd realize there were 20 support boats behind them. There's a boat for the bathroom, there's a boat for craft service, there's a boat for the camera department. So there's only one boat on camera, but it's a whole flotilla behind it.
You have like one with a big crane off it and everything?
I mean, we have a lot of pontoon boats because it's easy and more stable, and you can put a lot of people on it, but you name it. We have jet skis because we have safety guys in the water, so it looks like it's like the water version of like the Star Wars Armada. Our marine coordinator was this great old guy named Lance who's basically done like every show you've ever seen that was on the water, like Waterworld to Titanic to, the scene in Wedding Crashers when the boat goes through the wedding.
In the Outer Banks series, a number of boats get into trouble on the water, including an apparently sunken Grady-White. The Grady's are known to be unsinkable boats, so our crew decided to visit the famed North Carolina builders' headquarters in nearby Greenville to get their side of the story.
Back when Outer Banks premiered on Netflix, I started getting a lot of calls and emails about the references to Grady-White on the show. Knowing that Jonas Pate was a Grady-White customer, we decided to call him up and thank him. The topic came up that Grady-White boats are unsinkable. Jonas said, "Oh yes, we know that's very true." During the filming of the underwater scenes, the boat kept floating up. They finally had to blow a hole in the boat and weight it down to be able to get those scenes done. Grady-White Boats was founded in 1959 right here in eastern North Carolina. This entire region from Greenville all the way to the Outer Banks are known for their heritage and traditions of building rugged, durable offshore sport fishing boats. In the 50-plus years that Eddie Smith has owned Grady-White boats, we've added to that heritage his principles and values, which have created a culture of integrity, pride in work well done, and care and concern for our customers and our community.
Given boating and video production are so big in North Carolina, we decided to visit some of the on-the-water video production crews to learn a little bit more about the local scene. Carson Talbert at Lost Wave Media is an FAA-certified drone pilot who specializes in the marine industry here.
My name is Carson Talbert, and I am the owner of Lost Wave Media. Been here about 7 years.
He told me where they take the boats, how he films them, and what makes this area unique.
A lot of the film industry would come here and have multiple locations like the ocean, the Piedmont, and the mountains. So they would have a lot to choose from compared to other states that might not have those types of regions that are so close to each other. Video production's pretty big around here. They film some shows up near Charlotte, around Lake Norman, obviously down by the beach near Wrightsville Beach, and the coastal areas like you have the Outer Banks show. I think Wilmington and North Carolina as a whole makes it a great location. Throughout living in Wilmington and Wrightsville Beach, I always wanted to work on boats, and a lot of that was doing drone video over the water. Some of the challenges that I have when filming on boats definitely is the weather. The waves play a big factor. If it's bumping you around or it's a big swell, it can be pretty difficult to keep the drone stationary in order to take off and especially land. So weather is always a big thing. Obviously the air above you, even 100 feet to 200 feet, is moving a lot quicker than you think. So if the day kind of seems windy, once you put that drone up in the air, it can be a lot windier than you expect. Every time I go out, I tend to look at what the waves are doing and the height of them, because that's a big factor when I'm trying to land. There's a lot of things that can happen when you're trying to land the drone, and to have an extra 10% of battery can really help, because typically drones, once they're on the bottom end of their battery, and that battery will burn up quick. A lot of boaters travel up and down the Intracoastal Waterway, so I think Wrightsville is definitely a good spot to stop. And it's kind of that midway point between the northeast and the southeast. It's not too far from Morehead, which is a big fishing area for the East Coast.
Morehead City is a port town north of Wilmington, located at the southern end of the Outer Banks. A great area for fishing many different inshore and offshore species. This venue includes undeveloped estuaries, as well as close coastal proximity to the Gulf Stream offshore that helps bring large sport fish species near to the coast. Big game sport fishing is a thriving industry along the coast of North Carolina, where famously unforgiving waters forced the evolution of extremely sturdy offshore sport fishing yachts. Few parts of the nation are as well known for the unique boats they produce as the Carolinas, and few traits on those boats are as famous as the Carolina flare. The sharp entry at the waterline cuts through waves, while the flare above helps throw water to the sides and increase buoyancy. This distinctive bow design is prominent on a number of well-known boat brands built here, including Albemarle, Merritt, Buddy Davis, Hatteras, Bayless, and Jarrett Bay, to name a few. John Riggs at Riggs Yacht Sales was raised on the coast of North Carolina, where he sells big sport fishing yachts and works closely with customers in tournament fishing, commercial fishing, and marine mechanics. He sat down with us to tell us a bit more about this side of the boating culture in North Carolina.
I was raised in the coast of North Carolina. Can't think of a better place I'd want to grow up. Beautiful beaches, clear waters, the Outer Banks, and our incredible offshore fishing. Morehead City, North Carolina hosts one of the East Coast's largest sport fishing tournaments called the Big Rock. For a long time, North Carolina has been known for boat manufacturing and custom boat building. Some of the world's best boat builders are in North Carolina. I travel to different countries, fishing tournaments. I'm always proud to see Carolina boats fishing around me, and also winning tournaments. I was fortunate to be a part of planning and design of the Haruko 90-foot Jarrett Bay. Also been fortunate to be able to fish that boat all over the world. Riggs Yacht Sales has the experience of consulting with buyers on design and construction of North Carolina custom boat builds.
All right, people, so we couldn't come to North Carolina, talk about boating culture, and not talk about Reggie Fountain and Fountain Powerboats. Reggie Fountain is a legendary powerboat racer. He grew up here in North Carolina along the Pamlico River. So I gave him a call up and he said to come on over to his house. We're gonna go grab some lunch with him. He's gonna tell us some stories. And then we're gonna go over to the Fountain Powerboats factory, get a quick tour there. Adorned top to bottom with the famous Fountain logo, Reggie's house was fairly easy to spot along the Pamlico River. It just shows how proud he is of the company that he helped build. He's also a huge Elvis fan, which we saw the moment we entered his house. Reggie's career in boating is a uniquely North Carolina story. His place is full of archival materials that he was more than happy to review with us over his dining room table.
My name is Reginald Morton Fountain Jr., nickname's Reggie. Speed's in my blood. Since I was a kid trying to go fast, whether I was on my bicycle, trying to race other kids on the bicycle, or in one of my automobiles, trying to outrun other automobiles, and of course on the water, trying to outrun everybody that I could compete with. I got me a Dodge Charger Hellcat, which is the fastest vehicle I've ever had. I've had Corvettes with big motors and side pipes, but none of them are as fast as that Hellcat. I've actually had it 202 miles an hour. I first got into racing boats at 12 years old when a local farmer around Talbert, North Carolina called me up and wanted me to run two small B-class hydro and utility boats for him. And he'd heard I liked to go fast and skied a lot up and down the Tar River in Tarboro. So that's when I first started my racing, and I continued on expanding on that. In the late 60s and 70s, I'm racing on the side as an amateur.
Yeah.
But I did pretty well. Ernest Schmidt helped me from Glastron, one of the biggest boat companies back in the early 70s. They sent me a Glastron Molinary. I had two Mercury stackers on there, and I was winning races. I'd go to where the factory team was racing, Mercury, Johnson, Evinrude. Hell, I could outrun them every time. With a twin-engine Glastron. I had that thing running 110, and it would go over every damn thing. I raced that boat 201 times. But there's pictures of all that here, and I got an office in Greenville that's got pictures of that. And here's one, I made a mistake here, that's the beginning of a blow-off. I'm in 76. Three of us went over at one time.
Right, you're in 76, so that's you.
That's me right there.
Yeah.
And I get thrown out of it when it hits.
You were injured in
I was in the hospital there, just mostly of the day. Then I got a call from Gary Donald Garbrecht, that guy right there.
This guy right
here. He's the head of racing for Mercury. And I won the world championship for him in 76 and in 78.
Yeah.
Earl Benson, Billy Seabold, and myself were the racing team 4 years.
Yep.
And one of the three of us won every race in the world, wherever they were, that the factories participated in. So everybody else quit. When they quit, Mercury said, well, there's no need for us to keep racing. We'll let all the independents take care of the racing. And so they quit the racing team. Well, Garbrecht, that guy with the red shirt on there and the earphones on, said, we're going to go build some boats. I said, where we going to do that, Gary? He said, we're going to do it where you are in Washington, North Carolina. But he was a partner. He was equal partner in Fountain Powerboats at that time. It was called Fountain Garbrecht. We were building the first boat in 79. We got it built in 80. In 1980s, powerboat racing was reaching a fever pitch. It got bigger and bigger. I was building the offshore type race boats, started selling them, found out that the more I would race them and win, the more boats I'd sell. And one of the first races I went to with my new 47 I'd built, it was in Lake Pontchartrain in New Orleans. Don Johnson went and got him a cat. The fried chicken guy, Al Copeland, he had a cat. They were there with those two cats, and there was a bunch of cats and just a few V-bottoms. And Betty Cook was there with a Scarab like Don Johnson used to run. So I was in the superboat class. Kurt Russell of Don Johnson says, well, what makes you think you're going to win that race? I said, well, you wait and see. And we had it was fun. We weren't mad with each other. We were joking around with each other.
Yeah.
And from the beginning to the end of that race, I led all of them people.
Nice.
Every one of them with my 47 with 3 1,000 horsepower turbocharged engines that one of my buddies built for me down the road here about 20 miles from here.
Yeah. Well, I remember that scene in King of Offshore when you say, see you later, movie stars.
That flag drop, we left everybody. It looked like there was just 2 boats, but they were all behind us.
Was that, and it was Don Johnson. It wasn't Chuck Norris.
Kurt, that's right. Yeah. Chuck Norris was running with Al Copeland. Running with Don Johnson was Kurt Russell. I kept going right with them as they kept going faster and faster. I said, I think they may be going wide open. We had just run half a lap. Yeah. And I started getting on that thing and pulling away, and that's when I said, bye-bye movie stars. And I never saw them again, nobody. I left them all, lapped most of them that were out there. John Johnson and them never outrun me ever in a race. They'd never beat me in any race, anytime, any place, ever. Never, not once. And from that point forward, cigarettes, anybody's out there, we outrun everybody that was there. Yeah. That helped me sell all those boats.
Yeah.
That's how I sold them. Then when we started the fishing team, I put all the fishing teams in there, and they were all faster than everybody else's because they had pads and steps and all that stuff. Here we are, we're winning all the fishing tournaments, and we did. We had so damn many boats.
But winning races and winning tournaments, and then
that's
telling that story through,
and marketing with magazines. I tell you what we'll do. We'll go get something to eat because we got a lot of stuff I can tell you about.
Yeah. Reggie then brought us to a great local Carolina-style barbecue spot, a real retro-feeling restaurant. And then we headed over to the factory to get a quick tour by golf cart of the facility that he helped build.
There were a number of things that gave us a tremendous advantage. We spent a lot of time on the bottom and the design of the bottom, dead rise. We had a pad on it. Nobody else had a pad to start with like we did. I had a notched transom, and later I had steps on those boats and a great horsepower to weight ratio. How you doing? Good. Tell your dad I said hello when I came by.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good seeing you.
Good seeing you. Tell him I said hello. Fountain Powerboats factory started with 0 square feet in the middle of a corn field and tobacco field, and kept adding to it after that for many years till we got up to 250,000 square feet. See that one right there with the suction tubes on it?
Yeah.
That's been infused.
Yeah.
This is a metal shop. We do all the metal work. I'll show you part of it. We made all the T-tops, half towels, and all that stuff. Up there, they do all kinds of small parts, dashes, all the wirings upstairs there. Here's a T-top being made right here, see? Oh, yeah. They're still laminating back here for some of the, this is the stuff for the 42. Right down that way out that end. Now what they're building here is a 42. The 43, the one you saw a minute ago with the 4 motors.
Yeah.
And this is where the parts were built. I used to build a 48 here. The last one I built had 3 700 Mercuries and 6 drives, gas engines in it instead of diesel. It went 87 miles an hour. This boat looked like a big Sea Ray. Yeah. It was 12.5 foot wide and 48 feet long. Okay. 87 miles an hour.
So that's the 48 EC.
That's the 48 EC right there.
That's huge.
Isn't that a big boat though?
Yeah.
And it is fast. But now they got a some 1,000 horsepower motors that are pretty long and last a long time. If
Yeah.
somebody put in that kind of boat, it'll run well over 100, probably 110 mile an hour.
Wow.
48 footer.
Yeah.
I mean, these boats out there running 20, 30, 40, 50 mile an hour is the top one. We'd be running over 100.
Wow.
And then when their boats were all done, just a minute out of the water right here, see?
Mm-hmm.
This thing here, it's an expensive thing I bought way back. We never shipped a boat that we didn't test and run before we ever shipped it to make sure it was running like it should run. When the boats were ready to be tested, look at here. You go right down this canal here.
Yep.
And right out to the Pamlico River.
You can run fast right out on the river there?
Oh, when you get out, you go as fast as you want to go.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I've been going slow so you can see everything.
Yeah, yeah.
Plus I don't want to go too fast. You can't stop it and run off in the water. See, that's got 2 400s on it.
Yeah.
I got to ask Jeff when we talked to him how fast that was running. That's what he was testing when he went out earlier.
Yeah. What year is this one?
How you doing? Fine.
Hey, how's it going, man? 94.95.
We became the largest high-performance sports boat dealer in the world and high-performance fish boat dealer in the world because it was very important to us to make them strong, to make them light so they wouldn't fail, and to make them fast. You're a great guy. It's nice having you here. And if you get back here again, I want you to give me a call, and next time you can come stay here.
Deal. All right. Thank you, Reggie. Thanks a lot.
Yes, sir.
All right, people, thanks for joining us for another episode of Boat Trader Stomping Grounds. We've had a blast exploring boating culture in North Carolina. I've got a souvenir from director Jonas Pate and the Outer Banks show, the Kildare Surf Hat. We're off to our next location. If you've enjoyed this episode, please go follow us on social media. We're at Boat Trader on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And if you've got a cool boating story, shoot us a message and maybe we'll come to your neck of the woods next. We'll see you next time.
In this episode, we've seen a bit of what makes the coast of North Carolina such a unique and treasured stomping grounds for a variety of boaters. From its family-friendly coastal towns to its wide sandy beaches and expansive nature preserves. Certainly there is more to explore here, and our crew hopes to return again soon. What's your stomping grounds? Follow us on youtube.com/BoatTrader and on Instagram at BoatTraderUSA and share your boating stories for a chance to be featured. Who knows, maybe we'll come to your neighborhood next. This is Boat Trader Stomping Grounds.